There is something I keep hearing from others, particularly on YouTube, about Palantir. It is a statement that is flat out wrong, but is probably unintentional. But I have a feeling it may be misleading potential investors looking for information on the business. In this video, you won't find any hype, but rather some recent realizations that I've had about Palantir. I will also be proving that PLTR has never claimed it will be the largest software company in the future, or anything pertaining to market valuation. Instead, I'll be sharing the specific instances in which they've said something similar, but then I'll circle back and see if Palantir could, hypothetically, end up in the trillions eventually. Let's go. Will Palantir become the biggest software company in the world? That's the question that could make everyone watching this video millions if we all leveraged ourselves to the moon and if PLTR stock 50x'd in the next couple decades. From my perspective, however, I think it's way too early to think that Palantir will be a $1 trillion+ company. Also, it would be irresponsible for me with this channel as a platform to unfoundedly say that. I'll be sharing with you what I think is the truth, which is that these last couple months have been sobering for growth stocks and also my views on them specifically. The sell-off has not impacted my bullish views on my highest conviction names like Tesla and Palantir, but it has instead given me a different perspective, which is that we need more information and demonstration of execution to sustain whatever the multiples may be. Momentum can turn quickly, as we've seen, and it's crucial to have fundamentals that support the price of a given stock. My point here is that it's going to take some time for PLTR, for example, to grow its client base. It's not going to come easy. They added 11 new commercial clients in Q1, which yes, is an increase from the 7 in Q3 and Q4 2020, but largely disappointing from a company that seems to have the best software literally for the job. So what's the problem here? Is it the marketing? They claim their competition is companies building their own in-house solutions instead of using Palantir's software, but I don't think many companies are doing that. So what is stopping Palantir from partnering with every big business in the world? I think there is a piece to the puzzle missing here, and it's something I'll be diving more deeply into in the future. In this video, I don't want to rant on that. I might in a future video, but I want to finish off this riff by saying that my favorite names like Tesla and Palantir need to prove themselves each and every quarter to retain high quality investors and their stock prices. My investing strategy is dollar cost averaging every month with a long time horizon and no trading. Yours may be different. I'm constantly, passively, and sometimes actively evaluating the performance of each stock and company that I own. And part of that is the research that I do for this channel, which I put out for all of my subscribers. Regardless, Palantir has a long way to go before coming anywhere near to the technology giants today in market capitalization. There is a possibility that that pans out, and to be totally honest, it's part of my reason for my investment in Palantir. But just by verbalizing that, I'd say that it's more of a gamble at this point, or a call option baked into the share price. With ownership of common stock, I'd characterize an investment as one that is built upon a company that promises to deliver the following: strong growth for many years to come with conservative estimates and guidance, relationships with governments and enterprises around the world, access to some of the best minds in the industry, and overall, software that solves clandestine and commercial problems fast and effectively. I'd venture that Palantir becoming the most valuable software company in the world would be a result of the aforementioned and additional strong performance and market acceptance. A cause and effect, if you will. So here's Alex Karp in a clip you've likely seen before, but it's important to rewatch him explaining just that.
We're just going to be very, very focused on invigorating our software offering. But when you're growing 49% off of a 740 base, I think that's a pretty strong indication of what the future could hold. And we're super proud of that. And I think you're seeing that people are taking a look at our financials. And our company has often been viewed as complex, as needing explanation, both moral and financial. But it turns out our financials are quite simple. And you look at this dramatic growth with flatlining expenses, and I think that gives investors comfort. And it certainly makes me feel as co-founder and CEO that we made the right decision to invest heavily well over a decade in building software the way other people don't to build it, and you see the results. So I think the real debate now has moved significantly away from, is this software, is this services, because although people think we're very smart, we're not smart enough to get 80% margins off of a services company. The question then is, how do you comp it? And honestly, I think that's something investors will have to figure out. We're not focused on that. We're focused on, we are going to be the most important software company in the world, and people will figure out what that's valued over a long period of time. And we're very comfortable with investors toying around. It could be like this, it could be like that. We are going to deliver the world's best software with the world's most efficient way of delivering it. Investors will decide what's that is worth to them. And I think you'll find in a number of years that there will be a consensus Palantir is a truly special software company that is arguably the most important software company in the world.
There you have it. That's his direct wording. And not that long ago, we also had Sankar reiterating the verbiage, stating the goal of the company to be the most important software company in the world. Notice how they say nothing about valuation, which would probably get them in trouble. They say nothing about surpassing Microsoft or Google, which are both close to $2 trillion, since that would be some sort of Trevor Milton talk. They're actually specifically referring to providing more literal value to the world than any other software company, which, should Wall Street correctly understand the company, should lead to a near corresponding increase in value, assuming Palantir isn't only giving away their software for free, which I do not believe they will. That's more of a growth tactic and helping to give back to businesses that have been hurt by the pandemic. So yeah, being the most important software company could also be taken the same way as being the most valuable software company. But there are a few things to realize. One of the most important skills of being a chief executive of any company or being the founder of any company is having the ability to sell, which I'm just now realizing may be taken out of context. I'm bullish on Palantir, but it's pretty funny I just said that. Kirk definitely has the ability to sell, and he does it very well. That's besides the point. At their level, as a chief executive, they must be able to market the company well. They want investor support because that makes their job easier, even if they don't care about the cash, which they probably do to some degree, even if they don't explicitly say so. The more big money they have on board, the more capital raises they can do to help the business spend and grow, which leads to more value. You get the idea. I believe that most chief executives are very good salespeople inherently to get where they are. If they're a founder, they have needed to be able to sell their vision early on to employees and others. And to lay claim to the C-suite title, they must be able to sell their mission and growth story to all the different investors in order to, again, pull from the huge hedge funds and other deep-pocketed investors to go about creating a legacy. Of course, Karp wants the company to do well, and he has the vision that his software can change the world, but it's important to recognize his position in the company and why he may be saying that. But if you've seen my other Palantir videos, you'll know that I, personally, don't think this is just marketing from Karp. To be the greatest software company in the world, you have to have a unique proposition in order to disrupt existing giants. Now, why do I believe Palantir can do this? It's because of their mindset as a business and what they do. They're focusing on the long term and long-term investments and capital expenditures to improve and help expand their unique platforms, that which differentiates them from a Google or a Microsoft. So I'll leave it here for today. I think it's one of the most important videos I've yet made on this channel. The opportunity for Palantir is immense, but I think it's crucial to be able to step back and realize the bigger picture, which is that PLTR has so much farther to go. It needs to execute each and every quarter. So please join me as I break down the good and the bad for my favorite growth companies, and leave a like if you appreciated my perspective here. Until next time.